Hello YouTube and welcome to my First Descendant Luna guide. Luna is a rhythm-based support character which aids allies in both DPS and in mana recovery. Let's hop into the guide. Hopefully this helps you understand how the character works a little bit better. So let's simplify Luna as a character. Starting with her abilities, as you can see, skills 2, 3, and 4 are locked, meaning you have to use skill 1 to be able to access the other 3 skills. So we will get into the details of the skills in a bit, but first I just want to showcase her actual gameplay for you to get a better idea on how she actually works as a character. Being a rhythm-based character, Luna's first ability will put you into a type of mini-game where you'll see notes start to pop up and pass over your crosshair. Now Luna's first ability actually has a homing shot. You can see when I'm looking in an enemy's general direction, there's a little crosshair that pops up over him. If I were to shoot at the wall here, you would notice that it still hits the enemy even though I'm not looking directly at him. Initially, I felt this homing shot was a little unfair, but when you take into account all the other things you're focusing on, it actually evens out quite well. Similar to Freyna, this ability's weapon has a set amount of ammo. Running out of ammo will end the skill, as you can see. Now, the best part about this skill is the fact that there's no timer or skill duration on the skill itself. It is strictly ammo and mana. Those are the only 2 things that can cancel this skill. One thing you have to look out for is missing those notes when you're shooting. Missing a note will cause you to lose mana. As you can see, I just shot the enemy, lost a chunk of mana. Moving on to the skills themselves. When you're using a skill, it also has to line up with the notes passing your crosshair. If you were to use a skill and there's no note on your crosshair, it will fail the skill and you will lose a chunk of mana, and the skill will go on a longer cooldown. As you can see, I used the skill, missed it, I lost a chunk of mana, it's on a fairly decent cooldown, and nothing happened. On the other hand, if I were to use the skill correctly, you would see it pop up. Here I'm going to hit the skill on a note, you see the wave around you, now you know 100% you're in the skill. And as you can see, the cooldown shorter didn't use mana as well. When successfully hitting a note, Luna will gain a stack of 1% skill power. This goes up to 25 stacks or 25% skill power in total. As you can see, while I'm hitting the enemies, I'm building up these stacks. Moving on to Luna's resource, she uses inspiration, which can be gained one of 2 ways. The first way to gain Luna's resource is by using her skills. As you can see here, whenever I use one of her skills successfully on a note, I gain 1 bar of inspiration. The other way to gain inspiration is by using Luna's 4th skill. Luna's 4th skill on a successful note hit will give you 1 bar of inspiration, which is going to be your fastest way of getting to your enhanced skills. So as you can see, we're now in the 4th ability, and hitting shots will charge that bar at the bottom. Once you fill your inspiration bar, you'll notice your skills are now glowing. These are now enhanced skills, which we will get into in a little bit. Using these skills will give you a different animation. That's your best way of knowing they're enhanced skills. And here's a look at those animations. Now I'm just going to break down some of the skills for you just so you can understand it a little bit better. So we already went over the perfect pitch or the skill power modifier increase. In addition, that I hadn't mentioned yet was the bullet recovery. Every time you use one of the 3 skills, in addition to your first one, you gain an extra 10 bullets on your weapon. Looking at her second skill, this is going to be the damage boosting skill. On using the skill, you'll gain exciting performance, but as well provide exciting sound to allies. Exciting performance increases your skill power by 20%. Exciting Sound increases ally skill power by your max MP multiplied by 3.5. What I've noticed with Luna is a lot of her ally buffs scale off of your max mana, so that's definitely something you would want to build into if you're running her as a support character. Now we also have the stats for the enhanced versions here. Again, once you fill that bar, you can get the enhanced version of the skill, giving you more stats. So for Exciting Performance, or the self buff, instead of a 20%, you're now at a 65% increase in damage. For the enhanced version of the Exciting Sound, or the ally buff, the skill power increase goes up by 7.5% of your max mana instead of 3.5. Additionally, it also increases skill critical hit damage and skill critical hit rate. Going over to the third ability, this is your mana regeneration ability, not only for yourself but also for your allies. Similar to the second skill, you get a self buff and you have a separate ally buff. This is going to be Relaxing Performance for yourself and Relaxing Sound for allies. Relaxing Performance recovers your mana at 0.8% for 14.5 seconds, whereas Relaxing Sound for allies recovers mana at 0.7% of your max MP per 1 second for 8 seconds. And comparing the enhanced versions of the skill, the MP recovery on the enhanced self buff is 4.3% compared to 0.8%, and the enhanced Relaxing Sound or ally buff is 13% of max MP compared to 0.7% per 1 second. And comparing the enhanced version of Relaxing Sound or the ally buff, it is a 2.6% mana regen per 1 second compared to 0.7 plus an additional 13% of your max mana flat and a resource cost decrease of 56.1. I can see this being paired really well with, say, a bunny who's using their ultimate beam and reducing the amount of resource they're actually using during that ability. Moving on to the fourth skill, this is your resource gaining skill. Again, granting yourself cheerful performance and granting allies cheerful sound. Cheerful performance increases your inspiration gauge by 1 per shot with a duration of 14.5 seconds, whereas cheerful sound decreases the cooldown of ally skills by 10%. And then just to compare the enhanced versions, again, the enhanced version of cheerful performance or the self buff increases the inspiration gauge by 2 per shot instead of 1, so it's just a little quicker. And for the ally buff, cheerful sound decreases cooldown by 40.9% and a flat rate 100%. So ultimately with this skill, you can bring your allies' skills back up in an instant. And just looking at the passive, or what would be considered your resource, or as referred to the inspiration gauge, it has a limit of 14. It's really simple to understand. When you use an ability, you gain 1 inspiration. If you fail that skill, you'll lose an inspiration. If you use your 4th ability and hit shots, you gain inspiration. And if you're out of combat for a certain amount of time, you'll lose the entire bar, like most characters. And just taking a quick look at modules, again, I don't really have Luna set up, but based on the ally buffing and my type of playstyle, I definitely want to build into max mana and the tech damage for the first weapon. Still being able to do damage is very important, but using her as a support to her full ability, I feel like could be very beneficial to group fights. I'm running Luna to support allies as well as building into a little bit of tech damage, increasing that max mana for the ally skills and bringing up your general stats, HP, defense, shield, everything else that's, I guess, useful. But I definitely can't wait to see what other people build on this character. I hope this guide helped you understand the character a bit. She's very confusing, but once you get the idea of how she works, it does get a lot easier. She's very technical, very unique. I love the rhythm game aspect of this character. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed these types of videos, also let me know, because I am definitely down to do more. But that's gonna be all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video made the character a little more simple, or maybe even answered some questions you might have had about her. But that's gonna be all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.